It's Mother's Day, and all I want to do is sleep. Fire and I watched The Last Unicorn last night, and it was so good. I love that movie so bad. I love that movie so bad. It's one of those movies I want to watch every single year. I love it so bad. You hear him in there? And Judah has an order for, what is he making? Hamburger? No, hot dog buns. And then he has an order for a birthday cake for Wednesday. I'm really happy. His in-home bakery's doing very, very well. Hi, fat man. Good birdie. Just sitting here chilling. Say hi. You handsome. You the most handsome turtle ever. Yes, you are. So tell me why. So my face has been breaking out really bad around here, especially when I'm stressed out or when I'm on my cycle or when I get cat hair on my face. I'm allergic to pet dander and I have a cat. So I'm also allergic to dust and cut grass. So my allergies were going crazy. And I have this new turmeric soap that I've been using to get the scars off of my face. And my daughter does this thing. My kids are mixed. I'm just throwing that out there because we have different skin or whatever and different hair, and so we all use different type of stuff for our bodies. And she about a year ago stopped putting anything on her face. Like she will moisturize it, but she doesn't use any cleansers or anything. So I decided to do that as well. And when I tell you, first of all, it's been 3 days since I put any like face wash or anything on my face, and my scars are clearing up. And then my face stopped breaking out. I used that facial cupping machine the other day to get some blood flowing in my face. Felt so good. I love the facial massage. Thank you, Shine Logic, for sending that to me. So cool. But yeah, so I'm gonna stop using that BRA face wash, and I was gonna buy some Neutrogena, but I realized I'm having allergic reactions to the face wash I've been using. My skin is so sensitive. Every single face wash I have, even the sensitive skin stuff, has fragrance in it. And that's what I think I've been reacting to. My face has never felt cleaner, has never been clearer. So I had to stop using face wash. You know how much money I've spent on face wash in my life? I just can't believe I was doing it to myself the whole time. So there's that. One of my sons went out of town and got a message from my adopted mom, the woman who has not spoken to me in 10 years. Um, that she told him to give me something. I think it's like a message or something. I don't know. And I had a very odd dream about her last night where we were on the highway and she was driving recklessly. And I had to keep saying, Mom, Mom, because she kept almost slamming into people. And what's crazy is in real life, she's gotten into like 5 or 6 car accidents and gotten like big payouts from them. But because of the car accidents that I had been in with her, and then I ended up getting into another car accident, which is what ended up leading to my drug addiction because I got injured and then I had surgery and I got addicted to pain pills and I stopped taking pain pills when I got cut off of pain pills and I started doing heroin because my husband was selling it and it was just like crazy. And I always had a fear of being in cars, of driving. I don't drive now. I sold my car. I have a very deep, I don't like being in cars. And so that was always a big deal with me, like not being able to trust her to keep me safe. So I got molested in front of my father in a pool, and he was a cop, and is my adoptive father, and nothing was done. Like I was in the pool, it was a white guy touching me under the water, and my adoptive father was like laying on a chair or something, like outside of the pool. I never said anything, and it's interesting how you have an adoptive mom who she was a real estate agent. She had a real estate agency with her best friend. And then she had been a banker for a while. We used to get tickets everywhere free, like the convention center in Baltimore and stuff like that. And then she was a principal at a private school. Oh man, we got all their old toys and stuff. I used to pretend to be a teacher and play with in the basement by myself for like hours. My childhood was spent like practicing writing on a chalkboard and just being a nerd. And then she was a what was she? A nurse. She was a nurse before she was any of that stuff. And then she was just like in college getting her master's degree for psychology. Then her last job before she got in another car accident that she was in with my daughter and almost killed them both. She was a child psychologist in a school, which is crazy because her son is a drug addict. Her real son's a drug addict. He's dead now. And me, well, I guess I'm a recovering drug addict too. So she's not the greatest parent. So that's why it's crazy that she's a child psychologist. And it's almost like she became a child psychologist to mess everybody up because she kind of tortured us. So it's weird that she's calling now. And I had that dream about her last night. Before I go to bed, I'm just going to start asking to be revealed the truth. And I've also started asking to be able to know where I came from. Because I was adopted at 6 months, but there's like no paperwork or anything. Like, it's just weird. And then the first time I ever went to get a birth certificate, there were two of them. And that's the day I found out my real name. Everybody's lied to me. I don't know anything about my real life. All I know is that apparently my mom was 15 years old when she had me. I was born in Havre Grace, Maryland, which is a really weird town with a lighthouse. It's low-key like an island. It's got water on three sides of it. It's very picturesque. They only had one high school. They only had one hospital, which just shut down for some reason. And there's like 2 or 3% of black people there. So I don't understand it. And then years later, my husband hired a private detective to find the adoption agency, and there's no records. They said it burned down, and I can't believe him either. So it's like there's no truth, there's no reconciliation, there's no information. So I'm told that I was adopted at 6 months, and then a few years later, the woman that adopted me woke up and was paralyzed. She had some kind of disease and she was in the hospital for like years. And then while she was in the hospital, my adoptive father tried to take me back to the adoption agency and they wouldn't take me. So they dropped me off in the middle of the ghetto with some aunt that I barely knew. Shout out to Aunt Stephanie for taking care of me. And so they had dropped me off around Christmas time with no money or anything like that. And she told me years later the story of how she had prayed to God to provide for me because she felt like the way they were treating me wasn't right. And then she played the number and hit the lottery. I don't know. Before she died, she gave me the numbers that hit, and I forgot to play them. I was such an addict and wasted so much of my life. I don't even feel like I deserve to be acknowledged on Mother's Day because for so long I was just absent. Like, I can't believe the things that I've done in my past and the things I didn't do and how my children suffered and how my husband suffered. And I'm so sorry for that. So yeah, I do overextend myself to my family. Of course I do because I feel like they deserve that. I have to. Like, I can't make up for lost time, but I just try to give them everything because I gave them nothing for so long. And like, I don't have parents. And if I had parents, I'd be obsessed with them. I would do any and everything for them. I would constantly want their approval. I never had that growing up. Nothing I ever did was good enough for my adoptive mom. My adoptive dad apparently wanted a boy, so like, why would you adopt a girl? So that's where I learned how to like do all my outdoorsy stuff. And I appreciate him for that, but he didn't really like me, and he shamed me for being fat, and so did she, which is weird because he's fat, but she's not. She's like supermodel thin, light skin, high cheekbones, straight black hair, wore makeup. She's everything that I'm not. And that was made very clear. I don't remember getting hugs or, being told that I was like had value. So I had to do things to be acknowledged or be sick. That was the only time I was. So then I would start feigning being sick to get attention because that was the only way I could get attention. Um, I had to just have straight A's, and so I started getting obsessed with school because that was my only power, and then writing because no one would listen to me. I was raised to be silent and not to have an opinion. If I gave an opinion, I was deemed disrespectful. So that's the reputation that I got. And so she didn't like the way that I dressed. I never wanted to wear dresses or colors. I wanted to wear all black and I wanted to wear pants. So she would force me to wear colored dresses and bows in my hair. And that's just not who I am. And so it's just always been rejection. I mean, I was rejected before I was born. You don't just have a baby and then put it up for adoption. No, you planned to give that baby up while you were pregnant. So then just unwanted before I'm born, just to get adopted by people who adopted me because they wanted to fix their relationship. And then she thought she couldn't get pregnant, I guess, again, or that they were having problems getting pregnant. And then they adopted me thinking it was going to fix their relationship just for her to get pregnant with twins and lose them. So it was like they didn't want me and they were always going through their own stuff. So I kind of just like raised myself. The thing that I can appreciate with them is that we had a middle upper class upbringing. Well, I had a middle upper class upbringing, so we always had food, even though it wasn't the type of food that I ate. And then, vacations every year, private school, stuff like that. So they provided monetarily, but as far as like emotions, it was just anger and disappointment. I could get straight A's. I remember one year, I never forget this. I had straight A's and like a C. And they looked at my report card and they were like, what's with the C? No acknowledgement of the straight A's at all. Just for me to go and marry a man that made me feel like I wasn't good enough every single day. And I fed so much life into him. So much. When he cheated on me, he said that it was my fault because I treated him like a god and bolstered his ego to the extent of where he was like a megalomaniac, an egomaniac, and cheated on me. And that it was my fault. So, but I love my babies. Even though half of them let's just say I know the FBI got a file on me. FBI got a file on you. But I can honestly say that my kids are the best thing that ever happened to me. They're the greatest thing that I've ever done. And they make my life worth living. If it wasn't for them, I would be a full-blown criminal. It's like 121, I think. I need my own, what's it called? The hostile attitude? Mm-hmm. Okay. That's a good one to start at. Yeah, and I made it easy. I labeled each one. What is it that we were talking about? Not laughing at my jokes. Oh, yeah. No. But I definitely need to figure out the recipe that we're going to use for this commission. It's you pulling this tail so easily for me. That's crazy. A barbecue will be for too hot. I'm hungry. It's time to eat. When aren't you hungry? Real food. Off the bed. Psych. But off the barbecue. The pancakes only have like 5 ingredients. It's super easy. That's what I'm saying. What's on barbecue? Oh, you remember the barbecue sauce I made? It was really fun to make. I'm talking like with barbecue sauce. Yeah, I'll make the barbecue sauce. I'm not talking about barbecue sauce. I want barbecue. I love barbecue sauce. Way more than I ever liked ketchup. What you mean real barbecue sauce? I did make real barbecue sauce. I'm talking about real barbecue, like off the grill, like when y'all talking about. Oh, she wants you to grill. The different kind of barbecue sauce. I do want. I can buy. All it has is liquid smoke in it. I can literally buy that and add it to mine. Yeah. Homemade is always better. I had liquid smoke for years and nobody used it. I used to put in my green beans. Like it's too strong. You just need a little bit goes a long way. Just a little bit. I only used it for my green beans. Green beans and mushroom. But you steam those instead of like soy sauce. I don't steam them. I saute my string beans. Well, saute. Sure. Yeah, I do. I throw them in there with some garlic and some oil. Then I season them, and I'll saute them for like 7 minutes on each side. Then I'll just cover them for a couple of minutes, and they come out absolutely perfect. Crispy, soft, flavorful. They're still green. It's excellent. And then the onions and the garlic that I used with it has caramelized. It's so good. I'm just thinking about something for you. But I'm about to go sit down. I'm tired, y'all. I'm about to go make the pancake mix. It's really easy to make pancakes. It's just flour, baking soda, salt, sugar, milk, water, and oil. That's it. Easy peasy. Now we're gonna make our potatoes. Also, I like to let my batter sit for at least 10 to 15 minutes. A few lumps are okay. I use this to mix very slowly because if you overwork your batter, it's going to compromise the structure of your pancakes. And also, if you can find seltzer water to use instead of regular water, it'll help rise it. Shout out to my dead ex mother in law, Hungarian mother in law. She taught me that. And she was an excellent baker. And now my son's an excellent baker. All praise to the Most High. Look at that. All right. And today we have Yukon Gold potatoes. They didn't deliver my red potatoes. And we've got red onion and red pepper. I'm going to put this in the oven at 450 for 35 minutes because they like it crispy. I'm going to make myself some roasted mushrooms too. You want to remember to put your rack at the top of the oven so that it gets crispy. I guess I'll do the white onion, the mushrooms today. I got salt, pepper, oregano, parsley, and dill. I'm gonna throw some oil in that bad boy. 10 minutes at 450. But you can cook this at any temperature. 350 for 15 minutes. Like, it doesn't matter. But since my oven's already on 450, as soon as the potatoes are done, I'm just gonna slide these bad boys in. And honestly, I could just slide them in there and turn the oven off, and they would be fine. But yep. No, they still needed 15 minutes, even at 450, because when I took them out at 10 minutes, there was still water over on the side, so it still needed to be cooked for 5 more minutes. So it's 15 minutes, whether it's at 350 degrees or 450 degrees. I used coconut oil as butter and agave nectar as syrup. And this is my meal. I put all that right on top of there. Yep. I'm still waiting on my applesauce delivery. Mott's has a 72 cup pack of unsweetened natural applesauce that's usually sure $30, and I got it on sale for $21. So that's going to be here, and so that means we can make our chocolate cake tomorrow, which I'm going to make cupcakes probably. I'm so excited about that. It's practice for Roger's birthday cake because his birthday's in a few weeks. That's my feisty Gemini. And the rest of my day is going to be resting. I've got to do a stretching session, and I want to get into a couple of my books. I like to do braiding sweetgrass on Sundays, and it's been a while since I got into Sister Soldier's Midnight. She just wrote a new book, actually. I'm pretty sure she went to Dubai to write that book. She's such an interesting person. But this is getting good. It's at the part where Midnight has gone to Japan to try to confront his stolen or kidnapped his kidnapped wife, her father, because it's her father that came and snatched her up. Because in their culture, you're not about to be with no black dude, and he's a black dude, and his wife is Japanese, and so we're gonna see where that goes. What's that alarm for? Oh, it's to remind me that my delivery's coming. I use alarms for a lot of stuff. I forget what day it is, where I'm at, what I'm supposed to be doing. So I have to have a lot of reminders. It used to drive my husband crazy because in our old house, I would write all over the walls. Kind of like what I do now, but now I write on paper and put it on the walls because it's to remind myself. and to program myself, empower myself, all those things. I isolate and stay to myself so that I can reprogram my system to flush it of doubt and sadness. So I love you. Thank you for spending time with me here in Fury World. If you'd like to check out more videos about spirituality, mental health, single parenting, or really good cooked food, home cooked food, check out my playlist. If you like my apron, I designed this. I have 3 aprons in my store. I sell travel mugs, cups, latte mugs, shirts, hoodies, dresses, swimsuits. Check it out. projectfury.etsy.com. And if you'd like to check out my music, it's available on all music streaming platforms worldwide under my artist name, The Fury of Abyss. I love you, and I'll see you tomorrow. I think we're going to the bodega. That's always fun. Peace. Subscribe if you'd like. Hit the like if you like me.